Hi, hey there, Smash World Forums. This is Final Arc. We are Fatal, Fires the Hedgehog, and I are running a podcast for this year's E3. We'll be recapping all of the press conferences that just took place.
Because people are going to be kind of nervous now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely worried because the whole focus is, well, of course the whole focus is the controller, but that looks like a very expensive piece of technology, and that could be like way too much for a controller right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did like the fact that they showed off a lot of games for the Wii U and the 3DS, like Animal Crossing, Luigi's Mansion 2.
That looks fun.
Yeah, Paper Mario, Super Mario Bros. Me, and the Skyward Sword game.
No, we didn't see much on Skyward Sword, I think.
Yeah, but it's coming out this holiday season.
I don't know. For Nintendo, I'm just really not sure where they're going with this, because it's an interesting concept, but it just feels like something that they just need to go back to just straight out. Was just hoping for a normal console with no gimmicks, with like all the modern stuff to it, like the HD graphics and the solid online play, with like Nintendo's creativity in the games. But here they're just going for another gimmick. So.
Oh yeah, I agree with you on that. Like the Wii U's control, it looks like a gimmick.
I wouldn't say Game Gear, closer to an iPad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, if you saw the back of the controller, there's no grips too, so that should be.
Yeah.
There's no grips for the controller on the back, so that just does not look like it'll be much fun.
Yeah, I can just imagine the sequel to the controller through the TV stories for the Wii, dropping the potentially $100 controller on the floor and having it break.
Yeah.
Not gonna be good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really not sure what to think of the Wii U at this point. Like as I said, the whole trailer was focused like mostly on casual stuff, like you can play Go on this, or you can shoot a picture of a parrot to your TV. And I don't know. I just don't like the idea of them focusing on gimmicks again.
Yeah, it seems like after a generation where they focused on the motion sensor and everyone got pretty tired of it, and by the end of the generation, I think enough shovelware was out of the way and it was getting a decent amount of use, but I think people got tired of the motion sensor after a while, and now after an entire generation of going through that motion sensor gimmick, they now have a new gimmick, and I feel like that's just not going to sit too well.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they're going with this. At least they're not like running it off of like 2001 technology like the Wii was.
Yeah.
Yeah. At least they actually put in some new hardware with it that can. I've heard it can compete with the PS3 in terms of like raw hardware specs, but I don't know how true that is. I don't know that tech demo, the Zelda tech demo with the spider looked pretty nice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so how would you guys rate Nintendo's conference this year?
I want to give it I'm on the fence between I'm thinking like a 3, mostly because I can't help but feel rather like underwhelmed by the whole thing. Because I thought I'd be really excited for the announcement of a new console, but I'm just really on the fence about it.
Yeah, same. I would probably give him like a 3.5 because I was expecting to be like blown away by the Wii U, but I really wasn't, to be honest.
That's still the stupidest name I've ever heard for a console.
Seriously,
Yeah.
and you thought Wii was bad?
Yeah. I don't know, it's just like, did nobody like object that name? Like when it was in development?
Yeah.
Maybe they figured the Wii was successful, they should go for another silly name.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's the Wii U sounds like it's some sort of expansion pack for the Wii.
Yeah, see,
Well,
that's the problem. I mean, they really didn't handle that well. They really should have made that much clearer with their. I think that really weakened the announcement. Like I don't think they did enough with the Wii U talking about,
Like, yeah.
about
Well,
what they were
there
going to do
should-
with it, and they didn't.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. They didn't make it clear enough what exactly it was, and the name just made that even more confusing.
Especially like when the preview videos and all the preview images, you see the controller being used alongside like Wiimotes and like the Wii balance board. So I legitimately thought it was just another Wii controller when I first saw it. But like
Yeah.
for the name, it definitely lessens the impact because the Wii is like has such infamy behind it for most people. And like the difference between calling like the PS2 and the Xbox 360 is that PlayStation is already a very successful and like well-loved brand, and so is the Xbox. So, but then when you put like U at the end of Wii, it just, I don't know, it just kind of brings back memories of a lot of disappointment coming out of the Wii.
Yeah,
So-
it makes it follow a little too closely in the Wii's footsteps with that name.
Footsteps,
It
yeah.
just, like between the gimmick and the name is just going to bring back the Wii
Yeah,
to mind.
it definitely will. Like, I would rather that they just like tossed the screen gimmick out, just went for like straight controllers and dropped the Wii U name. But of course, you know, this far along in development, that's not going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it'll attract customers, unfortunately. So that's a good marketing move for them because, you know,
Yeah.
the casuals, if assuming they do continue with video games, they're gonna, you know, see Wii U and they're gonna make the connection instantly and they'll go for it. But for everybody else who is actually, you know, a part of video games and stuff like that and is gonna
And actually, you
they're
know,
gonna
likes
know
video
anyway.
games.
Yeah, that's just gonna be a bad association, I think.
Oh yeah, another elephant in the room. Smash 4 was announced.
Yeah, but guess who's making it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. This time I have a bit more optimism because in a recent interview I read, he said that he's leaving balance to his team instead of himself, which could be better because we know how broken he likes to make his own characters. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's like, you know, you figure DDD and Meta Knight. I don't know how high up on the tier list Kirby is because I haven't looked at the tier list in a long time.
I think he's
Like-
a top or he's high middle or something like that.
Yeah, well, something like that. Like the three characters from Sakurai's like his own franchise are like way high up there. Meta Knight's like a game breaker, so yeah, that's a lot of modesty there. Excited for it because, well, I can't say I'm excited for it. I'm more interested. I'm not going to go out and buy the Wii U just so I can play Smash Bros.
Yeah.
But-
Yeah.
I don't know. We really don't know how.
I am approaching it with cautious optimism.
That's a good way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently, like they're also making one for the 3DS that's supposed to like
Yeah,
interact with the
compatible.
Wii U one.
We'll see how that goes out. If they can honestly like balance everything and like basically make it like Melee and have a good online system, then it'll be good.
I don't know. Like the main issue is that most people don't actually want a new Smash Bros. They want Melee with like better graphics and more characters.
Yeah.
They want Melee expansion packs, basically.
Yeah, I think people are ultimately going to be let down because I love Melee, but it's just, I mean, you got to accept that we're not going to get another Melee, especially not. I mean,
Yeah.
Sakurai did make Melee, but I think a lot of what he did right, so to speak, as people think at least, with Melee was accidental.
Probably. Well, most of the things that make Melee competitive, like wave dashing and all that fun stuff, is like pure exploitation of glitches.
Well, exploitation of physics.
Physics.
Not really
yeah,
a
not
glitch.
Not really
But-
glitches. Physics. Yeah, you're right.
But Sakurai didn't purposely put in wave dashing, and there's Sakurai has never really been a competitive person. I think he's always had that sort of attitude of everybody should win. Let's not put too much emphasis on winning and losing and that kind of thing. And I think a lot of what happened with Melee, I'm not sure how, but I think a lot of what happened with Melee was just an accident. I think that's why Brawl was so drastically different. But I mean,
Yeah.
people aren't going to get the same thing as Melee with the next Smash Bros. And that's
Which is what everybody's going to be expecting, but, you know. Oh, yeah, and I remember reading that the 3DS one is going to have, like, a level-up system for each character. And then you're going to be able to, like, port it over to the Wii U version and then, like, play with your leveled-up character. Yeah, that doesn't sound like it's going to ruin balance or anything.
Yeah.
And, like, they tried that in Soul Calibur, and Soul Calibur 4 didn't work out so well, so I doubt that's going to work out here. I don't know. I'm just really not sure how to feel about Nintendo this year. Like, the whole Wii U thing, I'm not even sure what to think of the 3DS at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, as I said earlier, I mean, the 3DS seems like it had a lot of promise when it was announced, and upcoming, and all these titles are announced. But then when it was actually released, nothing was really. I mean, the launch titles were terrible, and so everyone's just waiting at this point.
Yeah, and like the most exciting launch title was like Pilot Wings.
Yeah, and I played a demo of it, and it didn't really blow me away.
Yeah, it's just I feel like the 3DS they just didn't time its release right. I think.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like they were just like trying to get it out the door without any like good titles being made for it. I mean, sometimes that works with like the PS2. Like the PS2 had a horrible launch lineup. Like the best game at launch for PS2 was like Dynasty Warriors. And that's pretty bad. And even that and even then, like when it first came out, apparently it was like impossible to find a PS2, and it just like tore up the entire generation, the competition, the entire generation. So, and I think that maybe Nintendo was trying to do the same thing where they relied off of the DS name, but I just feel like that's not carrying it this time.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 3DS was I was feeling kind of iffy on it, and then with the announcement of the Vita, it really seems like it's like Nintendo's on thin ice, and I don't think the Wii U announcement really helped them. I mean, I don't think Nintendo's out of the game by far, but I think
not at all.
But this year, I think it's just kind of bringing a lot of their stuff into question.
I don't know. I think if any major company at this point's in trouble, it's Microsoft. Because those guys are just way behind in what's considered cool and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Like they're still doing like the whole casual friendly motion control while Nintendo's trying for like a more hardcore system, and Sony just announced the Vita. So I think Microsoft's going to be in some serious trouble next gen unless they get their act together by at least next year's E3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I'm hoping for a 720 announcement next year.
The 360 has been out. I mean, it's been out for like a couple of years before the Wii even came out, and now we've already got the next Nintendo console announcement.
Yeah, and 360's hardware is starting to age, so
yeah.
I think we'll see the PS3 around for a long time, though.
Yeah, I've read multiple things that have said that Sony's going for a longer lifespan for the PS3.
Yeah, and I think the PS3 definitely has the hardware to back it up.
Yeah.
Since I mean, like they did really bad at launch, but like after it became affordable and they got some decent games out for it, I think that the PS3 is going to be around for a really long time. Yeah. And I think that 360 just needs to come out with the 720 already. Just toss aside Kinect and all their old gimmicks and everything. And just like go back to what made the 360 popular in the first place.
Yeah, as far as I can see, Kinect seems to me to be just like the iToy for the PS2, except they're pushing it even more, and it's just as negligible.
Yeah.
I saw it as being comparable to the iToy when it first came out, and it looks like it's doing the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Like the biggest difference between Sony and Microsoft at this point with the iToy and Kinect is at least Sony admits that the iToy didn't work.
Yeah. Microsoft is just pushing it and pushing, and I'm really surprised that they focused so much on it during the E3 conference because nobody really cares.
Yeah, I mean, like they tried to like get more like traditional sort of games on it. Like they have Mass Effect with the voice recognition, then like Ghost Recon with like I remember it was like some weird way to fire. Like you're supposed to like crouch and like grip like both sides of the air or something like that.
Yeah, it looks so weird.
And like they're trying to get like more traditional like gamers on board with Kinect, and it isn't working because nobody cares.
Yeah.
And I think ultimately it's just hurting Microsoft more than anybody else.
Well, I still think that the Kinect it's a success because so far it's sold 10 million Kinects worldwide.
Yeah, well, how many of those came bundled with like new Xboxes?
Yeah, see, the thing is, I'm thinking a lot of people got a Kinect because their Xbox broke down and they had to get a new Xbox.
Yeah, like my friend recently went out and bought an Xbox, and he has a Kinect that just because it came with the Xbox. And when he first got it, we like set it up and gave it a try, and there's like no way that thing has potential for like any like decent gaming. I mean, if the Wii proved anything, it's that traditional controls a traditional controller works best for games.
Yeah.